Hey everybody, it's Matt here for AVC. I thought it'd be fun to give you a tour of our latest gear hauler van build. Here at AVC, our most popular build out is our gear hauler layout. Now the focus of the gear hauler build out is the garage in the back. We want a huge storage space so we can bring all the toys that we want on every adventure. Now, if you've been following along with our channel, you're gonna recognize this van from some of our tutorial videos. For those of you who are new to the channel and you're curious how we built this van, instead of interrupting the tour, we're gonna give you a link in the top right corner up here, as well as in the description below, so you can see those videos for yourself. So if you enjoy what we do, don't forget to hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get this tour started. For this build out, we chose a 2021 Ford Transit all-wheel drive EcoBoost. The van itself is a 148 wheelbase long body in the 350 weight package. For this build, we added tons of extras for driver's convenience. So this thing has our radar cruise control, so it keeps our distance between vehicles in front of us. We have the parking assist as well as a front-facing camera that makes parking a big vehicle like this super easy anywhere you go. For this build out, we wanted an upgrade over the stock tires that came with this van. So we went with a Falcon Wild Peak AT3W. This is an all-terrain tire that's gonna do really well on this all-wheel drive van, and it gave me a chance to try these Falcons for myself. I've always run KO2s in the past, and I wanted to give these Falcons a try, and I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised at how well they drive. No noise, and they're doing pretty well off-road for us too. We ended up going with a 245/75/16, just like all the other upgraded tires that we do. The bigger tire makes the van look a little bit tougher, fills that wheel well, but we don't have to add a vehicle lift, so this van has no lift kit. It has the wheel well liners up front, and we have no rubbing. So this is a really great size tire to put on your van if you want minimal effort. Because we upgraded that tire size, and because this van is an all-wheel drive vehicle, it was really important to have a full-size spare. In order to carry a full-size spare, we can no longer put it underneath the vehicle, so we had to upgrade to a rear tire carrier and ladder combo. Now, having something like this that does two things in one for a van is always advantageous, so we are more than thrilled to put on the Rover Vans tire carrier ladder combo. Big thanks to Peter and his crew for getting this for us. So this stores our full-size spare at the back of the van. It installs on the vehicle hinges, so it goes on in about an hour. It's actually a really easy install, and we couldn't be more thrilled. It also gives us really good access to our roof rack and all the stuff we have going on the roof, which is just an added bonus. Speaking of, let's go ahead and climb this ladder and see what we got going on the roof of the van. All right, up here on the rooftop, we have our AVC RIG Roof Rack. Now, we design roof racks for every model of Ford Transit, and this one is no exception. This roof rack is designed specifically to fit the high roof 148 long body van. It is 60.25 inches wide, which means we have a little extra width over some of the other van racks out there, which leaves us lots of room for toys on the roof. Our roof racks ship flat and they mount to the factory threaded inserts on the roof of the van, which makes the install super easy, even for DIYers like you at home. Our roof rack utilizes a T-slot crossbar, which makes it really easy to mount all sorts of accessories on the roof and make the most customizable package for you on your van. On this roof, we mounted two 100-watt solar panels and a MaxxAir fan in the front. That extra width lets us flank the fan with these two solar panels, and we have these panels mounted low with our solar panel drop brackets. The advantage of that is we can't see them from the side of the van, so it's a little more covert, keeps the van looking nice and cool and sleek. It also puts the solar panel below the level of all of our decking and our crossbars. So if I do need to go to like the big box store and move some timbers or something like that, I can do that on top and not worry about damaging my panels at all. Because we have the front of our van loaded up with utilities, that leaves the back of our van available for all the fun stuff. So on this van, we put 5 of our AVC deck panels. These deck panels are modular, so you can add as few or as many as you would like to your build out. And they fit our rack as well as a lot of the competitors' racks out there. If you're interested, if they would fit the rack you have on your van, check out our website and we have a list of what they'll fit on there. The last thing I'd like to point out while we're still up here on the roof is that we have an awning mounted to the side blade over here on the passenger side. We mounted a Fiamma on here and it's super easy to bolt up, but let's get into some of those details down on the ground. So now we're down on the ground and we're underneath the shade of this awning, which is super nice here in the summer. So on this roof rack, we mounted a Fiamma F45S wall mount style awning. It's a hard case awning, which makes it a little bit more robust outside and makes setup a breeze. Since we're talking about setup, I always like to go with the manual awning, just because to me it seems more robust and it's simpler. I don't have to worry about motors or anything like that in the future. It's always easy to go up. And in my experience, a manual awning actually sets up faster than an electric awning. So that's it for all the fun stuff on the outside of the van. Let's go ahead and head inside and see what we got going on. Before we jump inside the van, I wanted to point out the step and trim that comes with our floor system. So this trim here is an all steel construction. It's actually 100% made here in Colorado, and we couldn't be more excited. Our floor system extends the floor into the factory stepwell here so that we get a little bit more real estate for our build out. And then we add a powder coated metal step with grip tape, full trim set, which is a trim over the step, a trim at the front, and trim for the back of the van. All that trim is capping off our insulated floor system. So we offer a drop-in, DIY-friendly insulated floor kit. All of this stuff just glues right down, so we don't need any penetrations in the floor of the van. And then on top of that, we put on our G floor coin floor. I actually prefer the G floor when we do coin style compared to something like lawn seal. It's a little bit more rubberized, so in my opinion, it wears a little bit better over time. And the backing accepts a lot more adhesives, and so it's a little bit easier for the DIYer to put in themselves. Now that we're inside, let's go ahead and talk about the dash here. Some of the accessories that we did option are automatic headlights. Is a really nice thing that we just don't have to think about headlights for the van. Of course, we have our radar cruise control that I mentioned outside the vehicle. Because it's an all-wheel drive, we have lots of different terrain modes and driving modes. So we can put this thing into eco mode and squeeze out a little bit better fuel economy. We can also set it in like mud and ruts, or we can set it for sand, and it's gonna affect the way that the all-wheel drive performs so we can get ourselves unstuck from that terrain. One of the upgrades that was really important for us too was the 8-inch screen up here on the dash. So this has the Apple Sync 3. It's the Apple CarPlay, which integrates our phone into the entertainment system, which just makes it a lot safer and more convenient while I'm driving. I can adjust the podcast or the Spotify songs that I'm listening to. I can pull up my Google Maps and have them right here on the dashboard. Just makes everything flow a lot easier, especially when I'm out adventuring a new place that I'm not familiar with. Starting with the 2020, Ford did a bit of a model year review, so it's no exception in this 21. They changed up the layout of the dash. We still have our big cup holders over here, which I think is super nice, but they also integrated some extra storage up here on the front of the dash, as well as a USB and 12-volt outlet up here to charge our phone or some accessories. Another thing they changed up on that 2020 was this overhead shelf. So this is a big one. You have to make sure that you add this to your ordering. And that's some things that I've unfortunately seen people forget. And a van without this is kind of an inconvenience because you lose the ability to store sunglasses and stuff up here. You know, I like to store like a hat and my gum and stuff like that up above my driver's area. It also limits your ability to put an overhead shelf. So I love putting overhead shelves in these, and you have to have this option in order to mount that overhead shelf. It's a great addition to any camper build, and it's probably something we're gonna add to this here in the future. A question we get all the time with this kind of a build out is it useful to actually add a swivel seat to the driver's seat? Now, we selected the factory swivels from Ford, so these came with the van as it was delivered. And as you can see here, I can't swivel 180 degrees like the passenger seat can. So the passenger seat is swiveled all the way around and it's completely facing backwards. But I have about 120 degrees of swivel here without, hitting all the stuff in the van. And that actually works pretty well. So I can use my countertop here to hold a beverage. I can still get up easily out of this space, and I'm not really in the way of this person that's sitting all the way facing backwards. So it does turn the front of the van into a really cool hangout space, and it adds a lot of versatility to this driver's seat, which is usually lost space. Underneath our passenger seat, we do have our Espar or Eberspacher heater. So this is a gasoline-based heater. We use the M2 B4L, and we're actually a certified Espar install shop. Although the Espar can be installed by you at home, in my opinion, it's probably best to have a shop do that for you. It's pretty complicated. You have to drop the fuel tank. It's a pretty involved system, and that way you have somebody to help you with some support and warranty. If this is something you're looking to add to your van, we actually do this as a side job, and we're happy to help you with it. So definitely reach out to the shop if you need some help. But as always, you can find a local shop that's certified by Espar, and they can help you with that too. To complement that heater install, we have a custom trim that we do here at AVC. So it actually plumbs out the face of this so that we have a really nice place to add our heat register, and it just kind of cleans up that install for the rest of the build. Now you might be curious why we would want to put a heater in a van like this, and having a parking heater or an aftermarket heater like that in your van build is going to keep you warm all season long, or actually all year long. You might originally think like, oh, I only need that in the winter and I don't camp in the winter, so I don't want it. But here in Colorado, if we're up in the Alpine, even in the summer, it gets pretty chilly at night. It's a really nice thing to have. And this furnace is a really safe addition to the vehicle because it vents all the combustion gas outside the vehicle, so we don't have to worry about carbon monoxide inside of our build. And it just has a heat exchanger, so we're just warming cabin air and keeping us nice and comfortable. It has a thermostat that we can set just like at home, so I can set it to 70 degrees, and this thing is gonna manage itself all night long and keep us nice and comfortable in the van. Let's talk about our kitchenette here. So our kitchenette is 53 inches long, it's 22 inches deep, it's about 33 inches tall. And a kitchen counter at home is normally 36 inches tall, and we have this a little bit shorter for the van, and that's so that we can reach some of the controls here at our CRL window behind. So in order to reach these T-vent handles at the back, we wanted to make sure that the countertop is nice and low. We also get a little bit more view out of there, which is a really nice advantage. The countertop on our kitchenette here is a Richlite. So Richlite is a paper product and it's impregnated with resin. It's super durable, it looks really great, and it's just like a really nice moisture resistant countertop. We've done a lot of work with butcher block countertops, and although we love those and we love that look, we wanted to try something different that was a little bit more elegant and a little bit more modern looking, and we couldn't be more thrilled with this Richlite top. Below our countertop, we have a locking drawer and counter extension. So this thing has a locking drawer slide, so it can lock in and out. If the van is off camber or something like that, that means this isn't gonna slide in on us. It comes out and it locks in place so that it's nice and firm. This gives us a little bit more work surface here in the van. So if I have like a camp stove set up on the countertop, I still have a place to do some prep work. We have a HDPE NSF cutting board that sits inside this, and it actually lifts out. So if I need to pull this cutting board out and work on it on the countertop, if I want to take this outside the van at a picnic table and have a nice clean, safe, food-safe work surface, I have that. And then it actually hides the drawer inside, so I have a little bit more storage space in here. I can keep some like napkins, deck of cards, packets of like sauce and ketchup, stuff like that, as well as, you know, like some small flatware inside here too. This just slides right inside of there and makes storage really easy. Below our pull-out cutting board area, we have our Indel B fridge. The Indel B fridge is a 4.2 cubic foot fridge, and we've reskinned the door with the interior laminate for the rest of our cabinets. That gives it kind of a cool, fun designer look, and we get to customize the look of that, and it gives a little bit of a pop here at the front of the van. Inside the fridge, we have lots of room for everything we need. I can pack a week's worth of groceries into this fridge for my family, and it works really well. It has a freezer compartment, so I can keep popsicles. You know, we're big fans of Otter Pops on the road because they're really easy to eat and easy to freeze. It also gives us lots of storage on the door, which I really like. You know, a lot of people use a chest freezer or one of those pull-out drawer style fridges, and I actually don't like the way that they store food. I like something like this that lets me get to everything easier than having one bucket full of everything. Especially things like drinks in the door are one of my favorite options. In order to have a fridge like this installed in the kitchenette and have it run efficiently, we add custom venting to our kitchenette purposefully for this fridge. So there's vents here on the front side of the cabinet, up high and down low, so we can get some good heat airflow through the back of the fridge, as well as on the back side here where we have an air pocket. We have additional venting here because that compressor unit is in this back corner. We want to get maximum airflow through that area. Moving on the face of the kitchenette here, we have a 110 outlet and a USB outlet, so we can keep all of our electronics close at hand as we're on the road. We also have a drawer here, and if we open up that drawer inside, we have a nice deep drawer here that we can put all of our kitchen accessories and stuff. We actually have some odds and ends from our recent trade show that we went to, so this is a bunch of cool 3D printed stuff. We also have a blind drawer back here, and I saw this on a high-end home interior tour, and I just love the way that the blind drawer kept the face of the kitchenette super clean, but added a lot of extra storage inside that area. They, of course, are on soft close slides to keep everything nice and tight so we don't have any rattles. We also have these Southco latches that latch positively shut and keep everything nice and tight so they don't open on the road. Here at the left side of the kitchenette, we have a nice big deep sink. If you've ever looked at our builds, ever since 2017, we've been putting these big deep sinks in the vans, and they've really caught on in the industry, and that's for a good reason. Having a tiny little sink is just worthless. So we want a nice big deep sink here. We went with a Torva because they offer a really dark stainless look, and we thought that'd be kind of cool to do a blackout look on top of the counter here. We also went with a black faucet, so it adds a lot of like cool modern look to the build out, and we couldn't be more thrilled. If I turn on the water, we can run that faucet. This only has cold water in the build, so we don't have to worry about hot or cold, anything like that. It's a pretty simple water system, but the faucet has a sprayer function. It pulls out. We can rinse dishes off, something like that. We can wash our hands, everything we need to do. It's a really great versatile sink. Underneath the sink, we have a 10-gallon gray water tank, as well as our fire extinguisher and a little additional storage. Next to our kitchenette, we have our JMG 18-inch bucket seats. We love the JMG seat system because in addition to being an awesome seat, they're super safe. So these are crash-rated, DOT-approved seats that are safe for you to mount in your van. Each of the seats we selected for this build are 18 inches wide, and they have 3-point harnesses so we can safely travel in the van. They also have child seat restraints just inside the corner of the seat here, so I can clip in my baby's car seat, and everything is super easy to install and take out. These seats bolt into a seat base that's actually underneath our subfloor. So it's 5 bolts on each seat, and I can actually take these out, and the floor is super flush. So if I need to carry something really big in here, I can unbolt the seats. They're light enough I can move them by myself into my garage. I can store them in there, and then I have a nice flat floor for whatever kind of stuff I need to do. If I need to go to the big box store and pick up a bunch of lumber, it's ready to go. Up here over the top of the kitchenette, we have what I would call our pantry overhead cabinet. And this is the biggest overhead cabinet we have in a van. So this is 20 inches tall and 12 inches deep. This fits most camp stoves in here, as well as all the dry goods we're gonna need for our trips. I have a USB up here in the corner, so if I wanna plug in my Bluetooth speaker or something like that inside this cabinet, I can do that and just leave it stored here and ready to go. While we're up here next to the overhead cabinet, let's talk about our control panel. So the control panel is kind of our control hub for everything in the van. We have our S-bar controller, so we can control our heater. We have our water pump control, so we can turn on water at the sink. We have our zone lighting, so I can turn off the rear zone and the front zone. These are also on dimmers, so if I want to set the mood in the van, I can do that. And the nice thing is they remember what dimmer setting they were set to. So if I get up at night and I want to turn the front cabin lights on to maybe jump outside to use the loo, I can do that and not have everything come on super bright. We also have a task light, which is just a direct light under the kitchenette here. So if I do want just simple working light at full blast, that's available at a fingertip. At the bottom of the control panel here, I have a 12 volt and a USB outlet. We just wanted to add some extra versatility. Having a 12 volt outlet back here lets us put in like an adapter. If I have some kind of electronic that just has a regular cigarette lighter plug, they can plug into that. But also if I have like a USB-C or whatever the next modern thing is, there's most likely an adapter out there, and we can just plug that thing in there. In the middle of this control panel, we also have a voltage monitor, and that's because we're using a Goal Zero power system. So although I can plug in I can dial it up on my phone and check my battery system through their app, it's nice to just have a simple voltage monitor so I can make sure my system is up to snuff. Back here over the bed, we have 2 more additional overhead cabinets, and this just gives us lots of extra storage here over the bed. A lot of times I'll store my sleeping bags and things like that over here, or a lot of my clothes or additional clothes, stuff like that. Each one of these also has a USB charger, so I can plug in my phone at night. I can plug in whatever extra electronics I want, and they can be tucked away safely out of sight and out of mind. On the other side of the bed over here, we have all of our hanging bags, and these are Van Wife Components hanging bags. So we're really thrilled with how easy these are to pack up and use. We have a video about that where we kind of go over some of the cool things about these bags, and they're really awesome to have here. We use these in my family to pack all of our clothes and everything like that, and you can see how easy they are to hang up and take out. I can put all my clothes in here, pick them up and take them out to wherever I am. If I'm going to take a shower in a campground, something like that, it's all right here and close at hand. After the trip, I can grab these and bring them inside and make sure I wash all those dirty clothes from the trip too. Above the hanging bags, we have our Unistrut. So all of our cabinets are mounted to Unistrut like this, and we want to match a piece of Unistrut over here on the passenger side. If I want to hang an accessory or something like that, it's as simple as adding a strut nut and then screwing it into that track system. It's a really versatile way to add a lot of different things to our van, and we're big fans of Unistrut here rather than L-Track. Up here on the ceiling, you can see these LED puck mount lights. We really like these flush mount lights, and we like to put them in 2 different zones. So I have a rear zone that's just over the bed in the back, and then I have a front zone that's up here in the front half of the van, and both of those are controlled independently. So if I want to keep the back of the van dark and light up the front, we can do that. Or if it's nighttime and we just want to light up something over the bed, we can do that too. Our ceiling and our wall kit are both cut from Baltic Birch, and this is all the stuff that we sell on our DIY kit. So exactly what we have here is exactly what you can buy at home to put in your van. We like Baltic Birch because it has really great screw retention, and it's just a really nice product, and it makes the best product for a wall kit in a van. Next to the bed, we have a pill window on each side of the van. Now these are the VW 1033s, and they're super common in the industry. These are from C.R. Lawrence. We really like these windows next to the bed because I can turn the fan on exhale, and then I can open whatever side of the van I want, so I can get extra airflow from one side of the van or the other, depending on who's hot and who's cold in the bed. All right, speaking of bed in the back of the van here, we have a queen size bed in this van. To me, the whole point of a camper van is to get a good, proper night's sleep, so we're refreshed and ready to go for the next day, and this bed does that perfectly. So it's a queen size bed, which gives us 80 inches sleeping north to south and 60 inches wide. We can put regular sheets on this bed, so we don't have to have anything special, nothing funny. I actually have a queen size bed at home. We pull our normal sheets out and set up this bed with that stuff. The mattress is a dual density mattress, so it's a 3-inch high density foam for really nice, good support, topped with a 1-inch memory foam, so we kind of sink in. It has that pillow top feel. We have a zip-on cover for this so that we can do custom fabrics in here and have some fun colors in the van, but we can also unzip it from the mattress, throw it in the washing machine at home, and get everything nice and clean for our next adventure. Supporting our queen size mattress is our AVC seasonally adjustable height bed. Let's run around to the back of the van and take a look at some of those details. Here at the back of the van, we can more clearly see our seasonally adjustable height bed. And you can see that the hanger here can adjust on 2-inch increments, so we can move the bed up and down when our toys change throughout the season. So we call it our seasonally adjustable height bed because as the seasons change, so do our toys and so does the way we use our van. So in the summer, we have really big toys like mountain bikes, and we need more space in the garage and less space in the van. During the summer, we're hanging out at the picnic table and we're outside the van for longer hours during the day, so we need less space in bed. But come wintertime, our toys change, they get smaller, usually it's just stacks of skis in the back of the van, and then I can drop the bed because I'm gonna be spending more time inside the van because it's less habitable outside. So back here inside the garage, I wanted to point out some of the systems we have going on. So on the passenger side, we have our Goal Zero 3000X. So this is the Yeti 3000X lithium-ion battery system. It has a 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter. It has solar charging capability. It's connected to our vehicle, so it charges as we drive through the Yeti Link module. It also has 12 volt outputs, and we have a fuse panel behind this area here. So back here I have all of my 12 volt distribution. I have all my 12 volt circuits for all my low voltage items in the van. That's my fridge, my heater, my lights, my fan, all that kind of stuff. It's all inside here, and if I need to get to any of those fuses, they're inside this cubby. We also have our AC management, so I just have an extension cord plugged into this, and that's routed to some of the power outlets throughout the van, so I can plug in a laptop or whatever I need to do there. Back here, the rest of the utility cabinet is just storage space, so I can get some big items inside these cubbies and get them out of sight and out of mind, so that prying eyes don't see what kind of cargo is in there. Inside our driver's side cubby is our water system. And this is an 18-gallon water tank on a standard 3 gallon per minute, 55 PSI pump. So we have 18 gallons of water on board, and that runs to our sink as well as some water ports in here in the back. Inside this lower cubby, we have our water pump and our drain, our system filter, everything like that. So when it comes time to winterize, I just open up that ball valve and drain my system and we're good to go. So back here at the back of the water cabinet, we have 2 Aquar hose bibs. We use this lower Aquar hose bib that's labeled water fill to fill our system. And the other one here is labeled freshwater because that's our freshwater supply at the back of the van. So I've connected to my freshwater supply. I can hit my water pump switch, and then I can actually activate this sprayer. And if I want to hose down a dog, if I want to rinse off kids after they've been playing somewhere, or if I just want to take a cold water rinse after a mountain bike ride, I have water at my fingertips. The last thing is our big garage here at the back of the van. So the gear hauler is designed around this garage specifically because we want to have maximum space to carry lots of toys. So this garage is 47 inches wide and over 6 feet long, and depending on height, can be up to 5 feet tall, even with a bed in place. That means we can carry 4 bikes and extra gear. We recently went on a trip to Oregon and we carried ice chests, trade show gear, and 4 bicycles, all packed into the back of this thing, and it was awesome. To manage all that cargo in the garage, we have L-Track embedded in the floor. Now you don't notice a lot of L-Track in our build, but there's definitely a time and place for it, and as cargo management in our floor system is the perfect spot. So this L-Track is set up 10 inches off the back of the van and 60 inches off of that. And we like a 60-inch spacing because we design a cargo tray that bolts into that spacing pattern. So having a 5-foot dimension of cargo area here lets us strap down all of our toys in the back if we don't have a tray, or we can bolt a tray into this track system and have an easy slide out for all of our stuff. So we can load up that tray and then slide it under the bed. So that has been AVC's Gear Hauler Van Tour. If you have questions about this build, please hit us up in the comments below. Don't forget, we have lots of videos highlighting the details of this build process, and those will be in the description. If you like this video, please hit that like button, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.